The world is burning, except here. Right now, global heat records are shattering everywhere. Summers are getting intensely hotter, and temperature maps of the world are stained dark red, except for this one weird spot. If you look at the global ocean map, right south of the Greenland, there is a massive, airy patch of water that is doing the exact opposite. It is freezing cold, dropping in temperature, and glowing bright blue on satellite imagery. Scientists literally call it the cold blob. At first glance, a cold spot sounds like a good news for the warming planet, right? Wrong. It is actually smoking gun for one of the most terrifying structural shifts in Earth's climate system. New data published just this month in June 2026 confirms that this cold blob means a massive planetary scale engine is actively breaking down. Today, we are diving into this terrifying science of the cold blob, why a giant ocean current is slowing down, and how a freezing patch of water in the Atlantic is already triggering flash floods and droughts thousands of miles away. To understand this, why cold water is terrifying, we have to look at the Earth's ultimate heating and cooling system. It's called the AMOC, or the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation. Think of AMOC as a massive continuous conveyor belt flowing through the ocean. It takes warm, salty water from the tropical equator and pushes it all the way north towards Europe and Greenland. When that warm water arrives in the North Atlantic, it releases its heat into the atmosphere, which is the exact reason countries in Western Europe enjoy relatively mild and livable winters. Once that water cools down, it becomes incredibly dense and heavy. It sinks deep to the ocean floor and travels all the way back south to the equator, creating a perfect, never ending loop. This engine has been running smoothly for thousands of years, keeping global weather predictable. But right now, we are dumping a massive wrench into the gears. So, what is breaking the engine? It comes down to basic physics, density, and salt. Because global temperatures are rising, the massive ice sheets and glaciers on the Greenland are melting at an unprecedented rate. This melting ice is pouring billions of tons of completely fresh, cold water straight into the North Atlantic, right where the warm ocean current is supposed to sink. Here's the problem: fresh water is much lighter and less dense than the salty ocean water. Because all this fresh meltwater is sitting on the surface, it acts like a giant blanket, blocking the heavy, salty water from sinking. If the water can't sink, the conveyor belt can't pull more warm water up from the south. The loop stalls. This is exactly what the cold blob is. It's a traffic jam of stagnant, freezing fresh water that has nowhere to go because the planetary conveyor belt is losing its power to pump. For years, skeptics argued that the cold blob was just a temporary anomaly caused by the shifting winds. But the groundbreaking 2026 data has officially settled the debate. The AMOC is shifting gears into a dangerous slowdown. And this isn't just a problem for people living near the Atlantic. The atmosphere and the oceans are deeply connected, and this cold blob is triggering a brutal domino effect across the globe. A massive study published earlier this year in April 2026 revealed something shocking. The cooling of the North Atlantic is physically shifting global wind patterns. It is pulling tropical rain belts away from their normal tracks. The result? It is actively destabilizing the Indian summer monsoon. This disruption is creating chaotic weather anomalies right now across Southeast, causing sudden, catastrophic flash floods in some regions, while leaving agricultural heartlands just a few hundred miles away from facing severe crop destroying droughts. A stall in the North Atlantic is directly threatening food security for over a billion people on the other side of the planet. If the AMOC keeps slowing down, the consequences look less like a gradual change and more like a Hollywood sci fi movie. While the tropics will heat up even faster because heat isn't being pumped away, Europe will face a massive drop in temperatures, leading to brutally severe winters and completely disrupted agricultural seasons. Sea levels along the eastern coasts of the North America will rise rapidly because the current will no longer be pulling water away from the coastline. We aren't looking at a total collapse tomorrow, but science is showing us that the system is incredibly fragile. If the cold blob is Earth's warning light flashing bright blue on the dashboard, the planet's systems are interconnected in ways we are only just beginning to fully calculate. A melt in the Greenland can change the weather in your backyard next week. What do you think? Does this kind of deep ocean science fascinate you or terrify you? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, drop a like, hit subscribe to stay ahead of the latest science, and I'll see you in the next one.